President Obama talking about the range of his powers when it comes to immigration reform during my interview with him in January of last year. And you heard him say, he said, he's not a king. He's told me that over and over again. But here we are nearly 2 years later. No immigration decisions taken by the House of Representatives. And the president is expected to take executive action on immigration any day now. It could, however, shut down the government and throw the midterms for a loop. Here's what Senator Rand Paul, for example, said just last night.
I support Speaker Boehner's legal fight to say, you know, the president can't just do what he wants. He's not a king. He has to really get approval from Congress.
Well, in that they both agree. So how far will the president's immigration actions go? And what the political fallout may be? That's a question we're going to talk about this morning. Joining me now, White House reporter for the Washington Post, David Nakamura, and editor for BuzzFeed's Latino coverage, Adrian Carrasquillo. Gentlemen, thank you so much for being with us. And Adrian, I want to start with you. I'll start with the president. If he takes sweeping action around immigration, would it have some effect, you think, on the midterms?
Yeah, you know, I think it's clear that the president has played this out, and the administration thinks this is a good idea. I mean, what started was the impeachment talk, and them saying that that could happen, you know. And so basically what you have now is the government shutdown and Steve King and Marco Rubio, an unlikely alliance in many ways. And so what with the government shutdown, that shows that they don't believe that this is a good idea, that he's overstepping his bounds, that he's being a king, as he told you. And so, but it seems like the White House thinks that this is something that could help them. By seeing once again, the American people seeing the Republicans shutting down the government.
You know, it's just so funny because the president has been begging. Really, he's been saying, I'm not going to do anything until Congress deals with the immigration issue. He has been so clear that what he really wants and what this country needs, according to him, is immigration reform that comes out of the legislative process. It just didn't happen because they didn't want to take a vote on anything. Now, David, many red state Democrats are also anxious around the president's pending immigration actions if he acts alone. Will this hurt his party?
Absolutely, Jose. One of the big pressure on the White House from its own party is some of these Senate Democrats in Louisiana, North Carolina, in competitive races. They are concerned that this will only whip up Republican base. There's not a lot of Latinos in most of the competitive Senate districts right now in the Senate races, and I think that's the concern for both the White House and for Harry Reid and other Senate Democrats to maintain control. We all know it's going to be tight no matter what. They believe this could be the tipping point. But there is the other calculation, as Adrian just talked about, that Republicans have been known for overstepping their rhetoric and going too far. And we saw that even in August with the situation on the border crisis when the House was really trying to pass that border bill to provide funding, had difficulty doing it. It moved far to the right, reduced the amount of resources for the care of the immigrants. A lot of the Republicans, they voted ceremonially dump the DACA program that provides relief to young immigrants 2 years ago, very popular among the Latino community. So that's the other option. And there's also a lot of pressure, of course, from immigration advocates who are tired of waiting and saying the president needs to act. The president is feeling the pressure from his own constituency there.
And I want to recognize that the CBO crunched the numbers on the Senate immigration bill, which was passed more than a year ago, and they said it was going to be a huge positive for the economy if it passed in the future. Now, the young Republicans criticizing the president say he's not respecting the checks and balances built into the government. Do they have a point here? I mean, the fact is that the president isn't king.
Yeah, you know, that's true. But, you know, what you've seen that's really interesting is also a switch among some Republicans that were supporting immigration principles. You know, you look at Marco Rubio and how far he's come. He was supporting a path to citizenship for Dreamers. And then he was at an event the other day at a fundraiser where one of the people in the crowd put their hands around the neck of a dreamer. And he said, you people are here. You're doing damage to your cause. And actually, you know, you don't have the right to immigrate here illegally. So there has been a lot of change among Republicans as well. And that's something that's important to remember, I think. And what you're going to see here in the next couple of months, you know, I remember the White House was talking about maybe this is going to be October 1st, you know, maybe end of the summer. And now they're talking about maybe the second week of September. So something's coming down the pipeline very quickly, which is going to put everything in motion.
Well, words are cheap. Action is more difficult but necessary. Adrian Carrasquillo, David Nakamura. Gentlemen, thanks so much for being with me this morning. Appreciate your time.
Thanks, Jose.
Coming up, Instagram.